Roughly 1/3 of all adults report not getting enough sleep. That's hundreds of millions of people feeling less than 100%. The issues are familiar. A racing mind when you want to shut down, or waking up at night. This frustrating cycle impacts your productivity, focus, and mood, leaving you drained before the day even begins. We all know we need better sleep, but the path often seems complicated. The market is flooded with expensive gadgets, complicated supplements, and drastic lifestyle overhauls. But the core issue isn't more tech. It's about simple, consistent behaviors known as sleep hygiene. So I ran an experiment. Could a 30-day commitment to these basics actually make a difference? My sleep problems were persistent and draining. For years, I had a routine that probably sounds familiar. I'd work late, staring at a bright monitor, then transition from my computer to my phone, scrolling endlessly. But my brain didn't get the memo. I would lie in bed, physically tired but mentally wired, my mind racing. I was also a frequent middle-of-the-night waker, finding myself wide awake at 3 a.m. This fragmented sleep meant I'd wake up groggy, hitting snooze multiple times. My mornings were a slow climb, heavily dependent on coffee. I was functioning, but not thriving, consistently operating at 80% capacity. My focus, creativity, and patience all suffered. I was tired of it. So, I decided on a systematic change, a 30-day experiment to test the most recommended sleep hygiene practices. The first and most crucial pillar was establishing a rigid sleep schedule. This meant a fixed bedtime at 11 p.m. and a fixed wake-up time at 7 a.m. every single day. Yes, that included weekends. The goal was to train my body's internal clock, or circadian rhythm, by sending a powerful and consistent signal about when to be awake and when to be asleep. The hardest habit was ditching my phone. At 10 p.m., I plugged it in across the room. Instead of scrolling, I read a physical book under a dim, warm lamp, avoiding the blue light that suppresses melatonin. I also optimized my sleep environment, turning my bedroom into a dedicated sleep cave, cool, dark, and quiet. Blackout curtains and a small fan for white noise made a massive difference, helping my brain associate my bed only with sleep. The final piece of the puzzle, and perhaps the most transformative, was creating a standardized wind-down routine. This wasn't just about avoiding screens, it was about creating a deliberate, step-by-step ritual that would act as a clear signal to my brain the day was ending, and it was time to prepare for rest. My routine was a simple 5-step process I followed in the same order every single night, starting at 10:30 p.m. It was designed to be calming and repeatable, a buffer between the chaos of the day and the quiet of the night. This ritual became the anchor for my sleep hygiene practice. Step 1. Washing my face, brushing my teeth. Performing a familiar cleansing ritual can be psychologically grounding. It's a definitive marker that the day's activities are over. Step 2. Changing into comfortable sleepwear. A simple physical cue that signals a transition. It helped create a mental separation from daytime stress. Step 3. 10 minutes of reading a physical book. Paper book, not an e-reader, to avoid blue light. I chose fiction, engaging but not suspenseful. It replaced mindless phone scrolling. Focusing on a single narrative quieted my internal chatter. After 10 minutes, I'd put the book down, regardless of the chapter. The time limit kept the routine concise and sustainable. Step 4. 2 minutes of slow, deep breathing. Sit on the bed edge, close my eyes, focus on breath. Long inhale, brief hold, slow exhale. This calmed my nervous system and lowered heart rate. Step 5. Getting into bed. Turn on only a small, dim bedside lamp. The minimal light kept the environment calm. The whole 5-step process took 15-20 minutes, but it was incredibly effective at preparing my body and mind for sleep. For the first couple of weeks, the progress was incremental. I kept a simple log, noting my bedtime, wake-up time, and a quick rating of how I felt the next day. The data showed a clear trend. In the first week, I was falling asleep about 15 minutes faster than usual. By the third week, I noticed I was no longer waking up at 3 a.m. I was sleeping through the night, a feat that had felt impossible just a month prior. The afternoon slumps became less severe, and I felt a noticeable improvement in my focus during work. These were all positive signs, the small wins that kept me motivated to stick with the routine. My alarm was set, as always, for 7 a.m. But I woke up on my own, feeling a sense of clarity and alertness that was completely foreign to me. I glanced at the clock on my nightstand, and it read 6:58 a.m. I had woken up naturally, just 2 minutes before my alarm was scheduled to go off. I felt genuinely rested. There was no grogginess, no mental fog, and no immediate desperate craving for coffee. My head felt clear, and my body felt restored. It was a profound and almost shocking feeling. That morning was the turning point. It was the moment I realized that my body's internal clock had finally, fully synced up with the schedule I had imposed on it. Waking up before my alarm feeling refreshed wasn't a lucky fluke. It was the direct result of 3.5 weeks of disciplined consistency. It was the payoff for setting a fixed schedule, ditching the screen before bed, optimizing my room, following my wind-down protocol every single night. It felt like I had successfully debugged my own internal operating system and unlocked a new level of functionality. This experience fundamentally changed my perspective on sleep. I had always viewed sleep as something passive, a state that you just fall into if you're lucky. But this experiment proved to me that good sleep is an active process. It's the result of a series of deliberate choices you make throughout the day, and especially in the hour before you get into bed. That morning, I didn't just feel rested. I felt a sense of control. I knew that the positive changes weren't random. They were earned. The new habits were no longer a chore, they were now an essential and non-negotiable part of my life, the foundation for a better, more energized day. So, after 30 days of strict sleep hygiene, what's the final verdict? It was, without a doubt, one of the most impactful personal experiments I have ever conducted. The changes weren't just about feeling less tired. The improvement in my sleep quality had a domino effect on every other aspect of my life. My focus during the day became sharper and more sustained. My mood was more stable and positive. I had more creative energy for my work. I had more patience in my personal interactions. A well-rested brain is simply a better-performing brain. The simple, cost-free habits I adopted delivered a return on investment no gadget ever has. To quickly summarize the key takeaways: consistent sleep schedule. Go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends. Eliminate bright screens for an hour before bed. Cool bedroom, dark bedroom, quiet bedroom. A short, repeatable wind-down routine acts as the perfect buffer between your busy day and a peaceful night. If you're struggling with sleep right now, don't get overwhelmed. Don't try to implement all 5 of these practices at once. That's a recipe for failure. Instead, just choose one. Start with the easiest one for you. Try a 2 p.m. caffeine cutoff, or plug your phone across the room 30 minutes before bed. Try that one thing consistently for 1 week. Once it starts to feel like a habit, add another. Small incremental changes are far more sustainable than a massive sudden overhaul. Be patient with yourself and track your progress. Even small wins can provide powerful motivation. The journey to better sleep is a marathon, not a sprint. My 30-day experiment proved real. Lasting change is achievable and doesn't require a huge financial investment. It just requires intention and consistency. The power to improve your rest and, by extension, your entire life is already in your hands. It's built on the small choices you make every single day. These practices are no longer an experiment. They are how I live now. It was absolutely worth it. I'm curious. What are your biggest sleep struggles? Have you found any tips or habits that have worked for you? Drop them in the comments below. Let's learn together. If you found this useful, subscribe for more deep dives and experiments. Thanks for watching.